Welcome back to Ballpark Baseball. This is our second video to cover strategies, and here we're going to explain offensive strategies and defensive counter strategies. So once there are runners on base, the offensive manager has 5 strategies to use. That's when these strategy cards, which are found in the last page of the playbook, are used. There's cards for hit and run, a bunt, which is a sacrifice bunt, and also a run and bunt and a suicide squeeze. There's cards for steal, for taking a pitch, and for a bluff when there's no strategy at all. So the offensive manager has those available to use. The defensive manager has these counter strategies that are also available. The defensive manager can reposition the fielders, can do a pitch out, can do a pickoff attempt, or can just sit still and have no counter strategy at all. So Brett and I are going to demonstrate this strategy procedure. So first, the offensive manager picks a strategy card, places it face down, and announces that there's a strategy. Next, the defensive manager verbally indicates the chosen counter strategy. And then finally, the offensive manager reveals the strategy. And that'll give us some combination of offensive and defensive strategy. And there's a matrix at the bottom of page 29 of the playbook. We'll be using the playbook on page 29 to guide us through once those strategies are established. Okay, so let's say Brett has a runner on first. He's the offensive manager. Let's say he's got a runner on first, and he's got a batter who doesn't strike out very often.
Well,
so
I've got a strategy.
you've got a strategy? All right, I'm going to try a pitch out.
Okay. My strategy? Hit and run.
Hit and run. Okay. So now we're going to go to the playbook. We're going to access page 70 of the playbook and draw a number. You're the offensive manager, so go ahead and draw a number.
Got 45.
45, and I'm looking here. Okay, the catcher picks the runner off first base if the catcher's arm is 1, 2, or 3. Otherwise, the runner is trapped off. So that would be the result of that strategy interaction between Brett and me. All right, let's do another. You're still the offensive manager.
I've got another strategy.
Okay, I'm going to try a pickoff.
There's no strategy.
Okay, so he was bluffing, and I'm trying a pickoff. So let's go to page 75, which is where the matrix takes us for that, and draw another number, Brett.
Okay, I got 3. So
3. Ooh, that's a balk. So my pitcher balked, and all runners would advance 1 base. So we think you get the idea. The offensive manager lays down a card, defensive manager can counter strategy. Then once you get that combination, we're going to the playbook to look up the results and often drawing a number. Now we did talk a little bit about bunting, and there's a few important points to note about bunting. Some batter cards have the word bunt at the top, which indicates that they are skilled bunters, and the chances of a successful bunt favor them. This is Red Shanedean's card, and he's got bunt written at the top. He was a good bunter. But even though that, you can't call for a bunt when there are no runners on base. Now, in the past, some hitters often bunted to try to get on base. But that eventuality, that circumstance, is already reflected on the infield hits that are indicated on the results of the batter's card. So you can only bunt when there are runners on base. Okay, that concludes the explanation of strategy. Now, truth be told, there are 4 other special strategies that are on pages 30 and 31 of the playbook, but we're not going to cover them. The game plays fine without them, but if you want to read them and you want to use them, you'll qualify for Ballpark Baseball Geek status. Okay, in the next video we're going to talk about player usage and some other special rules, and then following that we'll get back to our game.